That's so crazy. That was stupid. That was really stupid. I didn't realize it said that. It didn't start the stream that I originally. I deserve that. I deserve that. It did not start the stream that I told it to start. So instead, I just started some bullshit. That's super irritating. Yep, that's the one. That's crazy. It really did. I'm deleting that one. Sorry, I'm gonna delete that one. I'll basically go over it again. What I was basically said. That's crazy. It did that. That's the thing with Streamlabs. I don't really like Streamlabs like that. Anyway, so let me start over because for some reason my stream went to my Saga Soulmate stream where it should have been just Tower of God. That was super weird. Anyway, chapter 23 sucked. It was a mid chapter. It was okay, not great. If chapter 23 was a standalone chapter, it wouldn't have been that good. Okay. We talked about how 22 sucked, 21 sucked. 23 is more of that same realm. Again, CU often overdraws, he over describes. The whole thing with punching the bull for like 15 panels, it's just not it's not good content. Nothing happened. Like nothing was happening. Like we're just punching the bull and punishing him. And Urek's talking to himself saying, "Hey, damn, I'm not trying to kill him, but I want to punish him. It's so hard for me to hold back when I'm angry." Cool. Got it. It was cool the first couple panels, but overdrawing, overdescribed, we just didn't need it. Again, it was the same thing in chapter 21 where Nia was fighting the princess, and we did not need to see the princess literally run around in a circle for 20 straight panels. Like we didn't need it. It's just overly descriptive, not needed. So, like I said, about 21 and 22 could have been combined. 23 and 24 could have been combined if we were being real. We did not need a double chapter this week. They could have been combined. You could have left it towards Urek getting angry, get a couple shots in. That could be like 5 panels worth of getting a couple good shots in. Then the bull mutates, and then leading to Rahab and Cheongyam. Like, I understand you need to establish like them meeting up, and you could have started the chapter off with Rahab and Cheongyam meeting up. You could have started the chapter that way, and then you could have flashed back to Urek beating on the bull. But we did not need a full chapter of Urek beating on the bull. It really did get cruel to a point. Like we just did not need that. Um, and the little bit at the end where we did see Cheongyam and Lapis like meet up, cool, and it created a little bit of suspense. Like, oh, like it seems like Rahab was going to kill Cheongyam, but again, like grading 23 by itself, it's not a good chapter. It really was a 5 out of 10. Just we just don't need that extra shit. Like I don't understand why he spends so much time on shit that's just not necessary. Like nobody is enjoying watching the bull get punched over and over and over again because it's not an enemy that's a problem. It's not somebody that he can have a tough fight with. So I don't want to see it. I'm just not interested in seeing it. Like I don't know about you guys. We're interested in watching the bull get abused on screen by Urek and him telling himself, "Oh, it's so hard to hold back." Like, bro, come on, bro. I'm telling you, if he released chapter 23 by itself, you know how many people would have said they're dropping the series? You know how many people would have raged and say they're dropping the series because of that bullshit? Like, I'm sorry, it just like the art was okay. The art was okay. Like I did like the art in 23. I did like the punches and the scenes of him like boosting up his Shinsu and like forming it. All that shit is pretty. It was pretty. It was nice, but it was abuse, bro. It really was abuse. Like that's like the equivalent. The bull really is like a regular level. Like it's not like the bull is like the level of like a C rank regular. So It's like watching a high ranker literally beat on a regular. That's what it was. That's what it was kind of like. As the girls or the kids say today, it was given. Like that's what it seemed like. We just gonna punch on the bull, and then the princess and Neo are just sitting there in the background, just watching. Like, the princess is like, I'm glad that's not me. Bro, what? Like, I'm glad that's not me. Yeah, because, and again, I am a little upset that Urek didn't punish her because she's the one who caused it. I know it makes sense to prioritize for Neo the jewel in the head of the bull. I get it. That's the priority. But seeing her get humbled would have been nice because she has that cocky princess attitude. So it would have been nice to see her get humbled a little bit. But again, I understand the priority. But I did not need to watch the bull get punched for 20 panels, bro. Like, it was just, come on, bro. It was doing too much. It was doing too much. So, yeah, 23 was, yeah, man. Yo, what's up, Cam? And yeah, she does deserve to get punished, bro. Like, she deserved to get hands put on her. But yeah, 23, mid chapter, not feeling it. 24, a lot better, okay? 24 was a lot better. And he still milked it a bit with the bull because it starts off with, well, it starts off with Cheongi and Lapis, but he's still punching on the bull a little bit. It's like, yeah, okay, so you like drop it, bro. Just have him one shot it through the wall and give it up. Like it was dragging out a bit. Like, you really dragged that whole scene out. We did not need the bull to be resisting. Like, he's getting punched out. The bull is literally getting punched out and not trying to give up the information, bro. Bro, we watching him get his skull busted open, and he's not trying to give up the info. Like, we dragging it. We dragging it. So, Cheongyam in Rahab's fight was decent. I do have a problem with there not being techniques. We have seen very, very little techniques in this spinoff. If this spinoff is not gonna be a montage how I expected, and I know some of you guys expected it to be, like a montage of Urek going from floor to floor and meeting people, and if it's not gonna be that, then if you're gonna make it as detailed as when Bond was on floor 2, then show me something cool. Show me some techniques. Show me what these regulars can do, or something. Like, because Rahab and Cheongyam, they're just shooting Shinsu at each other. That's it. They're just shooting Shinsu at each other. Show me a technique. We've only gotten like 2 techniques this entire time. What was the first technique? The princess. The princess in her like water spell and her like whatever kind of like spell she used with the, like when she was fighting Urek and whatever. When the plants and stuff, that was cool, right? That was an actual technique. We don't know what it was. It could have been a spell or something, but that was like, okay, cool. Neo doing the orb, we've already seen orb. We know orb. It was cool that like somebody like him used orb, but we know orb. Why are Cheongyam and Rahab just shooting Shinsu at each other? If this is like a fight that's like a fight, why are we just shooting Shinsu? Show me something different. Like, Cheongyam did show like some strategy, but he didn't show like any like technique. You know, technique has like names and shit to it, right? Like the thing where he was fighting the queen and he like made it into a square and put it into the ground. That's cool, but like, I want to see like, what do you call that? Like, is there something to that? If we're gonna sit here and watch him just shoot Shinsu in different ways, then like meh, like okay. But obviously they had it out for each other. They didn't like each other, and Rahab wasn't really trying to kill Cheongyam, but he's a bit of a like he's ass, bro. Like me and Zenu, like we're on the same like track. Rahab and Cheongyam are ass as like villains in this arc. They are just ass, bro. Like they are just not interesting, bro. They got like this little brother, big brother, or like bullshit rivalry, and and then Rahab is like super cocky, super arrogant, like like he's like a terror. He's like the first iteration of Traumery, right? It's like Rahab is CU's first time brainstorming his characters, and this is what Traumery started out as, and he made it into Rahab. Like that's what this is like, and yeah, his power is boring, and he's boring. He's bullshit, bro. I'm not feeling Rahab at all. The same thing with Cheongyam. Cheongyam started out as cool. He was sitting on the cliff and throwing Shinsu spears at the aesthetic people, and that was like entertaining at first. It was like, okay, look at this guy. He's like cutthroat, like badass, but he turns out to be a little whiny bitch too. Like that's not these two characters suck. I'm like these two guys, like get them off the screen. The quicker Urek puts them on a poster, the happier I will be. Yo, hey Mark, what's going on? Not gonna lie, I feel like he was being generous with the rating for each of their own. I gave it 5 on both sides. Big strong, eliminate everything is boring. I was being generous. I was being generous. Chapter 23, I gave it a 5. It's really lower than that. It's really a 4. I gave him bits and pieces for the art, and at least he snuck in Cheongyam and Rahab at the end of it, but it was really just punching the bull. So it really is a 4. I was really being nice about it. I won't lie that chapter 24 dropping did change everything like a little bit with my rating of it, but it really is a 4 out of 10. Like, but chapter 24 was hype. It was hype. Was it as a 9 out of 10? Maybe I maybe stretched it a bit. It was at least an 8 or a 7 though. I would give it like 7.5. It's decent. The art's good. The moments are good. We get a little bit of the reveal, especially with the Heidi thing. So I'm glad that we did expose Heidi. Like, me and Zenu had talked about it, and I put it on stream that she was possibly one of the members of the Angels that we saw in the silhouette, and it turns out that she is. Obviously the maid outfit gave her away. Like the maid outfit, the overly nice attitude, it kind of gave her away, right? Like those type of characters usually turn out to be somebody dark and crazy. But I'm glad we got her revealed. I wonder if this goes like haywire if she like kills the two administrators next to her. So like the anima lady and I forget everybody's name. I'm not Zenu. I'm sorry. The anima lady and the lighthouse guy. If this goes south, I wonder if she kills them, like just murks them while they're sitting there. If like Urek comes in and bodies them, and she has to cover like the tracks, right? If Rahab, like she may even go out there to assist Rahab, because I imagine her priority is it's her and Rahab who are the people behind running the test on the floor, but they also work for Phantominium. So it's Heidi and Rahab who are like in charge of this thing, right? And they're probably like weeding out regulars to put with the jewels. So like Heidi, who is like more on the ground, is probably peeping like, oh, this regular would be good to feeding the jewel. Rahab approves it or whatever, and that's how like they may get rid of people, because Rahab does make it seem like in the beginning that they get rid of regulars, right? So I imagine they plan test around feeding the jewels. So I know that Rahab around this time, like he did it to kind of weed out Urek and the princess and use them, like probably to use them as fuel for the jewels. But he seems like in the past he's done similar things, right? So it was probably between him and Heidi planning things like this. So if Rahab is out there getting diffed and Cheongyam, she might go out there to try to help. But if she's smart and she peeped what's really going on, I'm not going out there. Like Urek is about to like really handle them really, really badly. And I do want to say Urek exposes himself here majorly. So him going in the air and exposing his Shinsu like that, it's all on Front Street now. And it's to the point where it may even draw Zahar and the other family heads' attention. Because, like sometimes when power like that seeps, they can feel it on other floors. So I imagine that this may be Urek exposing himself here. One, he's he's letting it all rip. Like he's letting all his Shinsu out, right? Not only that, all the regulars in the area can see this. Obviously, the test admins can see this, and it's on Front Street now. This guy is bananas. It's not going to be hidden anymore. So I wonder what happens here. Like, does like Rahab and Cheongyam, they're going to get bodied. They're absolutely going to get shit on. They're going to get their asses beat. And I'd love for them to expose what happens. Like what's going on here. Like for example, I feel sorry for Neo and all the others, like the test director. They do things that scream, "I'm a villain." It makes harder for them to do their job. I hope the two get off scot free from Urek. Nah, they're getting put on a poster, bro. Everybody's getting put on a poster. I thought that was the power of his light. I thought it was a little bit of both, Johnny. I'm gonna be real. It could be the power of light because he says it's time for the light, but it looks like his Shinsu too. It's hard to tell which it is. She looks like more like a princess from a small kingdom than a maid, but hopefully she's too smart to help. I think she's gonna try to help, and she's gonna get smoked. She might be too smart to help, but this ain't spelling good. I wonder what Zahar and the family leaders are gonna do about Urek. Nothing. If they feel the power of him, I doubt they try. Cam, I think it's going to be more with the same thing they're doing for Bomb, right? Traumery and Zahar, when they had the discussion back in chapter 750, was it chapter 550 or 650, when Zahar and Traumery have that conversation about inviting Bomb to be like them? It's one of those things. They're going to invite Urek to try to be like one of them. Like, oh, come join the VIP club, right? Urek's like, well, I'm over all of y'all. If we being real, I'm not joining no club. I'm over all of y'all. So I don't need to join your club. Like I'm cool. That's what I think is gonna happen. And that's what I think Urek's gonna say. Like, why would I join y'all? Y'all not living life. Y'all dead inside. Like I'm really that guy. Like but so what I'm hoping happens from this is, one, Urek does not take it easy on Rahab and Lapis. Like, puts them on their ass real bad, okay? And maybe we get some exposure into this whole plot thing and what's happening. Because they're going to be on their deathbed. And they do serve Phantominium, which we already figured this out from the last 10 chapters. But they serve Phantominium. They absolutely serve Phantominium. So with them getting their ass beat and Urek's going to ask them questions, I hope they reveal like what happened to them. So for example, I would love to know when Phantominium came to them or how he came to them, right? So say Urek's beating Rahab's ass. Yeah, so why did you become a servant of darkness? Well, I was weak. He offered me power. That's probably what the story's going to be. But I want to know, how long did it take for like Phantominium to set this whole operation up, right? Because when we're in the first couple chapters, it's Urek chasing Phantominium. So who knows if Urek was a couple days behind, a couple hours behind chasing him. But it's the same thing that happened to Bomb, where Rachel entered before Bomb, and a significant amount of time had passed since Rachel had entered. Same thing is happening to Urek here. Urek was chasing behind Phantominium, but Phantominium had time to set up a whole operation. Not to mention if there are other operations on other floors, because he's obviously not here. So he could have set up other operations on other floors above. So when did y'all become a part of Phantominium's like camp? And how did that happen? Like what exactly happened? It had to be like, I hope they give details to this, and this would be the perfect time to expose that. If CU needs a route to go, I think that's the route to go. Like, expose a little bit of that stuff. You don't have to give us like all the details about who's in the crystals, what they are. You don't gotta give us that stuff, but give us the start of this operation. Like, how did it become? Who are these aesthetic people? Why are they closed off? Why doesn't the floor guardian know what's going on? How are y'all avoiding the floor guardian killing people over and over again and they're not intervening? And you guys are supposed to be rankers. That stuff. Like I want to know that stuff, right? I think that's like the important, and that'll, I think everybody is interested in that. That'll make it a little bit interesting because again, things have been a little bit boring. But start with that, make them expose themselves. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I could care less what the hell Cheongyam got to say. If Urek wants to murk him, one shot him immediately next chapter, I'm for it. That guy sucks. I'm sorry. Cheongyam is probably one of the worst characters I've seen in Tower of God in a long time. Like he is what's the guy from the Pobito family who got one tap by Yama? Giskar. Cheongyam is Giskar level trash. Like he's that trash. And it sucks that the puppy got one tap by him because that he is ass. Like his power is the only like cool thing about him. I love the way his Shinsu shoots and like shifts in different directions. That's actually pretty cool. But him as a character, he's ass. He's whiny. He's cocky. He's not very smart either. He's actually not very smart because of the situations he's landed himself in. I don't like this guy. He sucks. Like he can get one tapped. I'm all for him getting one tap. Now Rahab is arrogant, but he also is like if Giskar and Cheongyam are F, like Rahab is D minus because he seems a little bit smarter about his shit. Like he wasn't even actually trying to kill Lapis. He was trying to fake kill him so everybody can see like I got rid of the guy who's causing trouble. Cheongyam is just so stupid and cocky that he wants to fight. Like he's irritating. Like I'm not the only one irritated by this guy. Like he's not the guy. So damn, yeah, Giskar level. Yeah, he's mid. Just hope the aesthetic thing doesn't drag because what Cheongyam, because that was Cheongyam's main thing. I agree. I think we will probably see a little bit of what the aesthetic who ran off. We'll probably get to see whatever he's like. Cause Cheongyam gave him like a plan to lure Lewin. I imagine we get to see a little bit of the fruits of that within the next chapter or the chapter after that. We'll get to see where he's going and how he's gonna convince Lou to come back or something like that. But what I really want is in this next chapter, as far as my prediction goes, what I really want is Urek to not waste any time, like trying to actually have a fight with them like he did Danzin, right? Like, don't make this a fight like you made with Danzin. If you're as angry as you, and we've never seen Urek this angry, if you're as angry as you are exposing, and these guys are using the power of darkness, beat their ass. Like, and not like he just did the bull, because the bull was bullshit. You just punched the bull for 20 panels, and like I don't want to see that. I want to see you legit rip their shit apart. I want to see clothes destroyed. I want to see Rahab's mask broken. I want to see his face bloodied. Okay, same thing with Cheongyam. I want to see that scarf on his head tore. Beat their ass the way you supposed to, and if their servants of darkness don't cut them any slack, then let them reveal some of the shit that they're involved in and how they got involved with Phantominium, how they met Phantominium. That would make for a great chapter for next week. I think 24 and 25 would be, if you cut those in between, because I don't think it's going to be a double chapter again. That would be nice. I'm all for that. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about those chapters. What else is there that happened? Oh, the Queen. I don't think the Queen's dead. I hope the Queen is not dead. The Queen is one of the saving graces of like the last couple chapters. She has been entertaining. Her fight against Cheongyam, like she legit won that fight, like 1v1. She won that fight. So I hope that she can heal herself or can like be condensed a bit. Like even if she have to like nerf herself down to like a smaller size, but she can heal better. I would like that because I actually like her, and I like her for Evelyn. I do feel a bit bad for Evelyn in terms of like a character that I like. I like Evelyn, and I do feel bad that something that she's finally able to capture gets like bodied like that. I hope she's not dead. Um, and what else? I think that was mostly the big stuff that happened in the chapter. Yeah, the Wrath of Light Part One. So yeah, that was the name of chapter 24. So I imagine the Wrath of Light will probably be like three parts to it. If it's Urek, it's probably gonna have three parts to it. So, yeah, we'll see Urek go crazy here. And like this, that panel where he grabs both of them deserves to be like. I was gonna make it my thumbnail, but I did like the one where he was with the. Well, no, I actually did shoot. Ignore what I just said. I actually ended up choosing this one with the where he grabs both of them, but the one where he has like the electricity like red coming from his eyes. I was gonna make that my thumbnail. That one is badass. Let me pull it up. You guys already know which one I'm talking about because it's the best looking one. But this one, oh no, where is it? Window capture. Yeah, this one, that one is that one like goes crazy, like super, super, super tough. This one goes super crazy. And the way they're just standing there, like they don't even know what was going on. I don't even do y'all. It's like they don't even realize the situation they're in, and that also blows my shit a little bit. Like that absolutely irritates me. Like first of all, why aren't y'all tripping that this man just grabbed both of y'all by y'all neck and slammed y'all? Like are we not tripping off of that? Like are we to the point where we're not surprised by Urek anymore? Like he just gripped y'all by y'all neck and by y'all throat and threw both of you, bro. Like what are we talking about? Like this is fucking banana. I don't think I've ever seen a throat grab. I don't think I've ever seen that in any. I can't think of any series where I've seen a double throat grab. Like yeah, this is a crazy panel. Like I don't know if I've ever seen a double throat grab, bro. Like and then through the yo nah. I would if I'm them. I'm wilding out. Like I'm wilding out. There's no way like this guy just threw us by our necks. They supposed to be spazzing out by that. I will not be more lenient. Stupid servants of darkness. Yeah, this goes crazy. This goes absolutely crazy. Like he truly looks like a god here. Like it really goes crazy. Yeah, see you should have drew them quivering a bit. He should have drew Cheongim and Rahab quivering here, like in fear, because this power is kind of bananas. Like, there's no way. I mean, they saw a little bit of something like this when they came across Phantominium, but y'all should be quivering in like fear for real. Like, yeah, nah. But yeah, I do know like some people even with these chapters like sleepy, I get it. It's still not good enough. It's it's that's the thing. Siu is like he has a hard time being consistent. Um, he'll go on like a good 3 chapter run and then drop 2 trash ass chapters. Like it's okay to drop mid chapters, but not trash shit. And it kills the hype. And like some of the stuff and it wouldn't even it'd be okay if he didn't focus on boring shit, but he focuses on boring shit. He might pack Fanta up. He was allegedly chasing him unless he was doing recon. You think Urek packs Fanta up? I don't know, bro. I don't know about that. I will say though, Rahab and Cheongyum might be high ranker level. So I'm only basing that off of Cheongyum one tapped the dog. Cheongyum one tapped the dog, and the dog is for sure a ranker. He one tapped him. I'm not even sure an advanced ranker is one tapping a ranker. I don't think an advanced ranker is one tapping a ranker. I think a high ranker is one tapping a ranker, but not an advanced ranker. I think they're high. They have to be high ranker level. I think that's a fair estimate. If you guys have any other like ranking of their powers, I think that they're both high ranker level. Because the dog doesn't get one tapped. He just doesn't. He like rankers can. I don't think an advanced ranker can one tap a ranker. I just don't. I don't think that's possible. But the dog got one tapped, so I'm putting them both at high ranker level. And now are they Dumas Robot level? Of course not. We're not even talking about that. Are they top 100? No. Are they top 200? No. Top 300? Maybe somewhere around there. Now Urek just entered the tower, and he grabbed 2 high rankers by their neck and threw them to the ground. Urek has entered the tower and he's already top 50. So my question for everybody would be, can current Urek who just entered the tower beat the likes of a Dumas or a Robodon? It's hard for me to say that they can, right? It might be the bias towards the normal series that's holding me back, but it's hard for me to think that this version of Urek, who hasn't mastered Shinsu yet, can beat them, but he may not need it. That's how busted it is, because I can't even tell if he's already top 3. I can't even, it's hard for me to tell if he's already top 3. Imagine entering the tower and already being top 3, bro. Like I can't fathom that. Bro walked into the tower top 3. That Cam, if you saying he can, now can he beat Traumery, Gustang? Can he beat the Great Warriors right now entering the tower? Answer that one. We've only seen Traumery and Gustang, but can he beat them? I feel like it's a little bit of bias for me, because we do know that Urek does learn techniques. He does learn techniques. I don't think he can beat the Great Warriors yet. I don't think he can beat the Great Warriors yet. I think that he can absolutely positively beat the shit out of any Towerborn, but if I'm thinking about think about the fight between Urek and Leslek. I don't think he can beat Leslek yet. I think Shinsu plays a part. If he uses his god power, maybe he can beat them. I think he I don't think he can beat Leslek yet. I'm thinking about the Leslek fight, and I'm thinking about current second floor Urek. I don't think he can beat Leslek yet. You gotta think he was already chasing Fanta. I get that. I do, but Shinsu is a whole different world, right? Like Shinsu didn't exist on the outside. It doesn't exist on the outside. So it's a whole different thing. So I don't know. And I also don't know how, like, because Shinsu makes Urek busted, right? Because he controls it willingly. It's what makes Bond busted. It makes them all busted. Like, it makes the Great Warriors busted because they can use it how they want. Um, Not having complete control of it changes things because if he goes against somebody who's mastered Shinsu, so for example, a Traumery who can like really delete your like I don't think Urek can delete what's the ability where he can delete space? What's the shit called? What's the shit called? Y'all know what I'm talking about during season 3. The shit where he can delete space. Like he when he transformed and he's able to like delete the I forget what it's called. But Urek can't counter that, right? He wouldn't be able to counter that. And hand in hand, I don't think anyone is touching them already. Shinsu is much more Yes, Shinsu, that's my point. Shinsu is more it makes things a lot more complicated. He wouldn't be able. I forget what Traumery's technique is called. Disconnection. Thank you, Cam. Yeah. So when he did that 3D disconnection, Urek can't counter that. I don't think current Urek can count that. If Urek touches that right now, he gets deleted. He has to use his god power to like deflect it or something, but he can't do what he did when Gustang and Traumery were fighting. He wouldn't be able. I don't think he'd be able to deal with it. So at the very least, I'm ranking him below whatever is below Lustlek. I would rank him below Lustlek. So that's still top 20. That's still top 20. But that's bananas, bro. He just walked into the tower and he's top 20. That's still fucking bananas. Like the minute he gets to learn Shinsu, it's a wrap. It's over. Once he learns Shinsu, it's over. It doesn't matter at that point. But like just that's like just not fair. That's really not fair. Like Rahab and like anybody else having to fight him, like a guy who's top 20. That's not fair. Like that's one of those things where like if Rahab and Cheongyam somehow survive and they retire and they say, yeah, I retired early because I had to go against prime LeBron his first year. Like I had to go against you had to go against LeBron in his 10th year when he's with the Heat, but as a rookie. Like so it's like LeBron in his 10th year with the Heat, traveling back in time to be a rookie again, and you gotta face that and he's supposed to be a rookie, but he has 10 years of experience. Like you can't do nothing against that. Like you are cooked. Like you're super cooked. That's exactly like what it's like. The Warriors were weaker then. I thought Traumery only had 2D disconnection. What do you mean they were weaker? At this point, Johnny, the Great Warriors are already like well established. They're well established in their powers and everything. Traumery should wait. He should have his 3D disconnection. All he needs to do is just merge with his dragons. But no, like understand when Urek entered the tower like 500 years. He's only been in the current Tower of God universe. Urek was only in the tower for 500 years. So it like the Great Warriors are way established. They're way established. So no, they absolutely they're putting Urek on his ass. It's not gonna be like a low diff. It's not like they're one tapping Urek. No, I would never say that. They're not one tapping them, but it's probably mid to like right now. Urek is probably losing mid to high diff, and that's because he doesn't know how to use Shinsu properly. That's it. That's the only reason he wouldn't be able to defend himself against shit like disconnection. Gustang like summoning all types of shit to fight him. He is like physically, yeah, he can surpass them, but if they start using Shinsu techniques and shit based on Shinsu, he can't do nothing with that. Like understand like Urek, what Gustang tells us about Urek when we see him fight is that his fists are absolute deletion or absolute destruction, where he can delete the laws of the tower. So for guys who breaks the laws of the tower, which are the Great Warriors, Urek can literally delete Shinsu with a punch. He can't do that yet. So yeah, it's gonna be a mid to high diff fight. I would give it mid at this point with no Shinsu control. Like how Urek didn't really care to learn about the people in the red trash can. He just decides to kill or capture them because a friend asked him to. Um, nah, I'm imagining. I'm imagining the darkness looking at the light and saying, "Bro, you never cooking again." Facts. Um, yeah, yeah. So I don't think current Urek can probably he probably can't mess with the Great Warriors yet. Until he masters his Shinsu. Because he even does the output thing, right? And I guess it make watching Urek now makes it make sense that he has to do like the output thing. Like he could only release like so much of his power at a time. That just shows you how busted it is. Because this is him like trying to restrain being 100% all the time. It makes complete sense. And it's really again it's really unfortunate for Rahab and Lapis to come apart to come against him right now, because this is basically an untamed, untaught Urek right now who knows nothing about anything. So yeah, rough shit, man, rough shit. Any other predictions for this next chapter? I don't know if I have anything else. But again, I do think with Urek releasing his light like this in this chapter, I do think this is going to expose him. I guess it did take him 50 years to get to floor 100 and beat Arihan, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's right, Johnny. Yeah. Again, in Bomb's story, Urek was only in the tower for 500 years. So it took him 50 years to climb, and he had the shortest climb of the tower than anybody else. That's, yeah. Um, I'm still curious to know how he climbed in 50 years. Bro, look at look at him. Look at this man. He's fighting, he's gripping high rankers by their neck, bro. What tests can stop him? I'm sorry, but there's no floor guardian tests that can stop him. Even Arihan's infamous test can stop him. There's no floor guardian if he's challenging floor guardians. Tests is going to be good enough for him. None of their tests are going to be good enough for him. There's like it makes sense. Bro can literally fly through. Nothing can stop him. Like not facts. The way it's looking, Johnny, is looking like that. Now, granted, we're talking about traveling like across countries, but yeah, no, it's literally like that. Traveling, doing it in 50 years is easy work for him. He's fighting high rankers and grabbing them by their necks and calling them, make me like call him dad. Like, I'm the dad of light. Call me dad of light. Like, that's what he's doing right now. Can't nobody hold, bro. Can't nobody hold, bro. And to be real with you, Zahard is only above Urek because of his status as king. Zahard is not stronger than Urek, bro. And I am the biggest Zahard stan. I am the biggest Zahard stan. I stand the fuck out of Zahard, okay? I support all of Zahard's endeavors. He is the king. He is my godly king. I am his son. I respect Zahard. Zahard cannot hold a candle to Urek, bro. He only ranks higher than him because he's the king of the tower. That's the only reason. That's what this is telling me. Whatever he's done to himself, or like merged himself and all that, or split himself and all that shit, cool. Whatever. That's cute. As far as what I'm seeing and to understand, I do not think Zahard or any of the great warriors can hold a candle to Urek. I'm being 100% real. I do not think they can hold a candle to him. It's hard for me to believe that. It's super hard for me to believe that. because he's only going to get better by with learning Shinsu, and bro is already like top 20. I don't think Zahar's stronger than him. I don't. I don't. I don't. He's only ranked higher because of his king status. That's it. You can't have the literal king be lower than anybody that's active in the tower, because obviously Phantom um and Ryu are non-active, but Phantominium is who Phantominium is, and he destroyed Zahard's empire so without being touched. So we know that's why he's number one. Number and then obviously Enryu did something that's almost considered to be impossible to do. So they've done feats thought to be impossible to do. But in terms of like Zahard, he's only above Urek because Urek is relaxing himself. That's the only reason. Because Urek doesn't want to cause a problem within the structure of the tower. That's the only reason. That's back, especially with Urek God power, good string, good gonna dip. Peace. All right, thanks, Johnny. Peace out, bud. Nah, Zahard's got an ability, or Urek or Lusek would have killed him. Nah, I don't think. I don't think so. I don't think so, Cam. I mean, Loki. I don't think so. Nah, I believe Zahard could give him a good. I don't think so, guys. Because he doesn't want to destabilize the tower, Loki. He already said this. Urek already told us that he doesn't want to destabilize the tower. He already said what would defeating Zahard do? It wouldn't do anything. It would just destabilize the tower. He already told us this. Defeating Zahard accomplishes nothing. Urek's goal is to get out of the tower. If he defeats Zahard, all he does is open the tower up. But we've already been shown to see what type of place the tower is, and it is structured based on Zahard's empire. If the king dies, war is breaking out, and many people's lives are getting ruined. There's going to be tons of deaths and tons of fighting, and it's going to be because he kills Zahard. That's why. We already know Urek is a super careful and caring person. He cares about people. He does not want to. He's the god of light. So he god of light. So he cares about lives. Killing Zahard causes everything to go to shit. That's the only reason. Yeah, it would give him the answer to getting out, but he's not willing. Urek is not willing to risk other people's lives to get out. That's one thing he's never going to do. I think the problem with Urek's story is that, number one, with him beating everyone quickly, there's no stakes. Number two, he keeps getting shit with no explanation, like flying. I mean, I think some stuff that don't need to be explained personally, Sleepy. Like, Urek is literally a god from the outside. So him being able to fly, I imagine that just comes with his light power. That's not something like I think needs to be asked. Like flight is really like a power thing. I believe it's like once you develop your shinsu to a certain stage, you can kind of learn flight. That's pretty much all it is. Like that's what I'm assuming, because flight isn't really. It's not really explained how people obtain flight. If I don't remember flight ever being like a explanation, but we do know. Like when it came to like Kun and Rak, when they were granted like the souls and the power of like white, they were able to fly after that. I think it's once you get your Shinsu to a certain stage that you'll probably be able to fly. But Urek's already busted Shinsu wise. So in the universe, people bring it up but never ask how are you doing that? We can't do the two get manhandled and blah blah. What chapter was that? Where Urek talks about like how like he can't let Zahar and then be defeated. I'm gonna go back to the Lusek versus Urek fight. First of all, I got this thing too high. Let's move that chat box. Lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it. I don't have a problem with him getting powers, but you're not being able to do anything during the Tron versus Gusting fight. It makes it look like a bigger L because he should have been able to disable them. Well, he kind of did though. Like I don't. It's not like Urek didn't do anything, and like Urek being godly, I don't think that doesn't. Urek being godly doesn't make him like all powerful in terms of like he can just smite everything in his path. I think he has like there's a certain restriction that you have to have when you're like that level of person, because one, he doesn't want to kill any of the great warriors. He's already like kind of say he doesn't want to kill any of them, but Traumery and Gustang aren't like they're not like everybody else. They're not weak. Like I don't think Urek can just straight up disable them like just because they're not that weak that he can do that. He can overpower them, especially in a 1v1 fight. Like they've already established that in a 1v1 fight they wouldn't want to fight him. But together in a moment like that, they're like there are more stakes right now than us fearing fighting you. Like what's going on right now is well worth us fighting you. Is basically kind of what happened. And he failed to get bomb B. Yeah, no, he did fail, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. He did. It's not like he can't fail at certain things because you still like have to be smart enough to do certain shit and react to certain shit. Like he's godly powerful in a fight, but that doesn't mean that like he can't be outsmarted or outwitted, or he doesn't have complete control or dominance over a field, right? So for example, he fought Leslek. While he wasn't going 100% against Leslek, Leslek was able to like delay him, right? Even when he tried to grab, V, Leslek played him with a spell, right? That's just like part of it. Like you can still be outdone. So you got to have a little bit of like discernment with that. Like in like full power fight, if anybody, and I'm including Zahard in this, in a full body fight in a 1v1, if they were to stand toe to toe with Urek, they're getting their ass beat. If he's going 100%, he's beating any and everybody's ass. In the 2v2 fight, you gotta look out for certain shit because there's strategy that goes into that. And if there's two or more, obviously it's going to be a more difficult fight. But 1v1, stand head to head, nobody is probably beating him in a fight. Nobody wants to tussle with him. Okay, so yeah, I want to read this a little bit, right? What are you doing here, Urek? I thought you agreed not to get involved with anything that happens inside the tower. Is this the official? Yeah, this is the official translation. So I've never read the official translation for this fight. I thought you agreed not to get involved with anything that happens inside the tower. Why don't you just look for a way out of the tower like usual? Right. So this is being like the first establishing point, Loki. Leslek knows, as well as most people do, Urek has decided to not get involved in anything that goes on with the tower. That means he is absolutely not attacking anybody that's in power. He's absolutely not doing that. Well, I know what I said before, but I've had a little change of heart. The truth is, I'm against this fight. I don't want any of the 10 family leaders to die yet. So, yeah, he's not going to kill any of them. Killing them is just it causes more problems than it solves. Because even if he kills Zahar, that doesn't necessarily open up the tower. It's not like Zahar can just open up the tower. All the keys still have to be collected. All the princesses still have to collect. Like everything still has to come together for the tower to be opened. Now, can Urek open the tower? Maybe if the gate that blocks the tower or is holding off going on to the next floor is bound by the laws of the tower, then maybe Urek can like destroy it. Maybe that's a reach though. I have to believe that there is a limit to what he can do in the realms of like destruction and power, right? The door that locks the tower, it may be even like a heat on thing. It may be like all the floor guardians type of thing. It may be like the culmination of like the strongest beings in the tower holding that door locked that nobody can do anything about it. I have to, but like I'm sure CU hasn't thought that far ahead. Most people wouldn't have. You don't think about stuff like that. But in terms of like what Urek can do to get out of the tower, I don't think that's an option. I just don't think it's an option. And there may be a period where that happens. I would like to see stuff like that because if Yurek's goal is to get out, then obviously the number one thing to do would be to either find other ways out because supposedly Phantominium got out, or how Arlen got out. So Arlen did get out. We know this to be a fact. That is a straight fact. Arlen did get out. Phantominium possibly or did get out. If these two people got out, then there's a way to get out. He probably starts there. But then the other thing to do would be to open the tower back up. So I would like to see in this spinoff a point where because there is a point where Zahar and Urek meet. That happens. That absolutely positively has to happen. When you become a ranker or you climb the tower, don't you meet Zahar, right? Don't you meet Zahar when you climb and become a ranker? That's supposed to be a thing, right? So, but even if it's like not a thing, so somebody like Urek, yeah, he absolutely has positively had to meet them at some point. So when he gets up there, you don't think Urek has it in his brain if he wants to get out to, oh, if I just destroy the door that's holding us stopping us from getting to the next floor, I could just destroy it. I have to imagine that he's seen it and he maybe tried. Or he thought about it. Or he didn't want to cause issues if he did. Because it's also a thing where the problem with Urek is that he cares about people too much. So if he's formed his group by then, Wallhai Song, if he's formed it, or if he has his group of friends, their life all becomes difficult after that. Because it's just Urek trying to leave the tower. If he made friends with like Evelyn or Rohan or Beg is a different thing, but if he formed his group and then they're all their lives become in jeopardy just because Urek wants to go to the next floor, he's not doing that. Urek's just not doing that. Yo, Devin, what's up, Devin? What's good, Mark? How you the spin-off so far? I'm open to reading it, but Urek, he often frustrates me. That's why I'm open to checking it out. If you can wait to read it, Devin, I would recommend you do that. It's up to 24 chapters unreleased. I don't know what the official is on right now. This is, if you can wait, I would advise you to wait because some of the content week to week is kind of ass. The main problem with season 3 was CU's pacing. And some of these chapters week to week have the same problem that he had in season 3. And it sucks to say that and see that, but it's the same issue where there's just like, there's not enough happening in the chapter. And like 2 setup chapters back to back is just ass. It's just ass. So if you can wait, I would wait. If you don't want to wait, maybe read 5 chapters and stop, and then maybe wait another month and read 5 chapters and stop. You could do that. I don't see that being a bad way to go about it. But I would not read it to week thing where we at right now. The recent chapter that just dropped, good. The chapter before that, and the chapter before that, and the chapter before that, ass. Maybe the Urek's final battle is him versus Hidan or Enryu. Why would it be Enryu though? And I don't think Urek. See, I don't think Urek is going to do anything to cause problems for other people. That's the whole thing. He's not going to like the whole point. I think the whole point of him chasing the revolutionaries in season 3 is because they're trying to cause war. They're trying to cause problems. Like, he wanted to break up the problem between the Great Warriors, because between Trauma and Gustang, because it's going to cause a war that's going to shake the tower. And he didn't want any of them to die. If one of them dies, what's happening now and about to happen in season 4, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be, yeah, okay, now it's war. He is going to do everything he can to not have that happen. The revolutionaries are inciting war. They're planning war. So, yeah. Urek might not have a choice. No, I agree. Loki, he, at this point, well, he doesn't have a choice now. He fucked up. He didn't stop the revolutionaries. Like, he made them leave, but the damage is already done. And that's why even the captain says, we did what we came to do. The captain said, we did what we came to do. We were going to cause more havoc and more, they were going to do more damage, but we did what we came, we accomplished our overall goal. And Urek failed. Is what it is. What if the way out is the first lore and everyone keeps getting further and further away from it? Hidan guards the first lore, so I don't know. You're not getting. I just don't think you're getting past Hidan. I don't think Hidan's letting anybody who decided to become a regular or a ranker leave. I don't think he's going to let it happen. By exception, Phantominium. But I don't think anybody else can leave. I will come look at it. So see you kind of questionable. Wait, I will come look at it. So if the big bad, can you beat it by a side character? He finds an equal facing the boss and going all out, then die by Phantominium. Sorry, Sleepy. I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to say there. Wait, was there anything else in this? I didn't come here with the intention of fighting you all. At least this will be a good warm up. This is such a good fight between Urek and Leslie. Sorry, I was getting caught up in it. It's such a good fight. I love the art and everything for it. It is really such a good fight. I was sitting there reading it. I forgot I was on stream, but for like 20 seconds, I forgot I was on stream because I was looking at the fight. It's such a good fight. I love those chapters. In season 4, Inryu will fight Hidan, and Urek will try to stop them. The fight would be legendary. Yeah, I think like the biggest ask that most people want in Tower God period is like they want Inryu. Like we got Phantominium, and I think a lot of people are happy about that, satisfied with that. But I think people really want Inryu because of his feat. Like like his feat to kill an admin is just it's just too good of a feat, and the way that he did it, and like the things he did with it, I think like in the community, like if we were to do I think I'm gonna do a community poll on YouTube, and I'm gonna ask a couple of like I'm gonna have like a vote on what people want to see the most in terms of legendary shit. Like I think people seeing Enryu again would probably be like the number one thing. Like I really do think that would be the number one thing. I like the like I don't think there's any bigger obsession than seeing Enryu again for most people. Um, okay, so just kind of a joking, but you had to wait till Hidan is distracted with an irregular. That's a Urek or Enryu level and sneak out since they forced the gate open. Hypothetically, that could work. That's not a bad plan. I just don't think Phantominium gives a I don't think Phantominium was restricted. If Phantominium is believed to be an Axis, I don't think there's anything that can stop him from doing what he wants to do. Um, if he wanted to leave, I just don't think they were in their power to stop him. Like he just he seems like he is the epitome of darkness, right? He controls darkness. So I'm just thinking of just world groundbreaking shit where this man just seeped through a shadow on the floor out the door. Like that's like where I'm at with it when it comes to Fandominium. Um, bring the red tower. Yeah, bring the red tower down. Like people would go ape shit to see Emery again. Um, oh, crazy theory. What if Urek finally gets out, but if it's not his world? Well, if I'm to under, so you're crossing into like the multi world theory, Loki. I personally think it's just a time thing. Like I think it's a time thing. I know Urek think like his when what Urek says in this series is that the world that the Great Warriors came from does not sound like the world that he came from. That's like the multi-world thing. I personally think it's just a time thing because at this point in the story, the Great Warriors have been in the tower for tens of thousands of years. So I don't know what that equivalates to on the outside. Could be massively different, but I just think it's just a time thing. But it could be a multi-world thing, like different doors from different worlds that enter into the tower. I I don't know. Um, I get that he doesn't want to get involved, refusing Urek, right? Stop the other people possibly have the power for the little people because he doesn't want them to. It's selfish. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Um, for loop sessions. Yo, what's up? Um, yeah. I'm sorry, I was getting enamored with this fight. Is there anything else that he says in this fight? Maybe towards the last chapter. Was it 601? I'll pull it up. I'm looking at the last second Urek fight. is a third party in this war, and I'm not exactly sure what their goal is. But one thing I know for certain is that they want the 10 great family leaders to fall in that arena. I can't give away valuable information in case you haven't noticed. You're not really buddies. But there's only one thing I can tell you. Whoever the people involved in the war are, they're my prey. This is such a good fight. I love their whole thing. And this is how you outplay Urek. Miss a lot, always late. Stacy. Oh, what's up, Stacy? You think it's a time thing too, Cam? Yeah, I think it's a time thing. Is it Urek's information intentions or is it Bayek's? Maybe Bayek is the one who changed his mind about fighting the family heads on how to approach it. Well, yeah, I think it's a little. I think it's a little bit of both. Um, the way I see it is, there is if the great family leaders were to die, well, Traumery already died. There is no safe way for Urek and his crew to operate when trying to complete their objective, right? Their objective is to get outside the tower. There's no safe way to do that if there's a war going on. You're going to ultimately get kind of dragged into the war, unfortunately. And Urek can't be there to protect everybody on every floor. So it's just like you're going to get caught in a crossfire wherever you're operating at. And so, yeah, that it makes sense why he doesn't want that to happen. Um, it's not like he doesn't want them to die because he wants them to get out. He doesn't want them to get out. Maybe many worlds in the universe similar to ours at extremely massive space. They could have come from different regions or systems. Yeah, no, I'm not opposed to the multi world theory. It's just that that's when it gets complicated because it's almost like Urek comes from like a god realm, and like the Great Warriors doesn't, and it gets a little complicated then. And I'm not I guess I'm not opposed to the idea. It just would be, what's the point? And it's like, okay, what's the point of Phantominium entering the tower, and how does it benefit him? If the tower creates luminous ones, which is the theory that some of us used, is that if you complete the top of the tower, if you get to the top of the tower, you beat the tower, you become a luminous one. Okay, that I can kind of see that. If that, but then it's like, well, why didn't Phantominium, while he was in the tower, why didn't he just kill Zahar and open up the tower? I don't, like, there's so many questions to ask on top of that. Like, I wouldn't even know where to begin. It gets like really complicated and confusing at that point. You're not going out of civilians though. They're going out on troops and people that are fighting them. They have an attack a mothership. Yeah, but that doesn't matter, Sleepy. Like, understand that certain families run certain areas, right? They control certain floors. So everything is under attack. So, for example, Traumery's death is not going to go over easy, and it obviously hasn't with Gustang, for Gustang's crew, because he's already attacked by by the Ari girl, I forget her name. He was already attacked, but Gustang is taking war to them. So it's inevitable for a floor to go to war wherever the Pole Beat Out family is. That's also the revolutionaries do not care who they attack. The revolutionaries are attacking the family heads and anybody attached to them. So, for example, they were targeting Traumeries, right? Traumery, right? The revolutionaries who are a little bit aligned with Gustang, they were attacking the Lobo Pia family. The Lobo Pia family is destroyed now. They're under after season 3. If I don't know if you guys have reread season 3, look how many people from the Lobo Pia family have died in this season. Their whole family has been decimated, meaning that some floors has opened up, and Gustang is only going to recoup and go for the same thing. The revolutionaries, same thing. People are going to get caught up. Like, not everybody who works for a family not everybody that's in the war is a part of a family. You understand that? Like, everybody in that's like, okay, let's just pick a floor, right? Let's just pick the 20th floor, right? I'm not sure who runs that floor right now, but let's just say it's ran by a high ranker of the Lobo P or of the Lobo P. We're just going to use Lobo P as an example. It's ran by a high ranker of the Lobo P family. Every troop or every person that works for that high ranker isn't a part of the Lobo P family. They just work for them. So that's regular people who are just having like regular jobs or regular security. They're going to get caught up because the revolutionaries are attacking the floor to take the floor away from the Lobo Pia family. That's war. Like, that's how it happens. That's what the revolutionaries have been doing. They've been doing that type of shit for a while now. So, and you never know who's going to get caught up in that. Everybody can get caught up in that. So, like, all the major cities, like, because you do know, like, where the regulars take their a lot of the test areas, there are like cities and other stuff involved, and especially like if like some of the test administrators for the floors are a part of different families, they're all targets. Everybody's a target. So no, it is not safe. It is not safe. It's not just troops against troops. No, if you work for the Lobo Pia family, if you're like a regular soldier, like who works for the Lobo Pia family, you're getting smoked too, bro. Like you're getting smoked too. Like you've seen plenty of regular soldiers throughout the series. Like you've seen plenty of soldiers. You can see soldiers. Every single soldier that you see, like when we were at the hotel, right? When we were at the hotel and Hajin Song and then we're infiltrating and shit, right? Do you think that every single person in here is a part of the is a part of the Lobo Pia family? I'm trying to find like a panel where you see all those soldier guys. And okay, here we're Garuru, right? When they were infiltrating the ship, right? Every single person in here is not a part of the Lobo Pia family, bro. Some of these people are regular people. Let's see. This is probably the next chapter where we see them. The previous chapter, 568. Well, regardless of the fact, everybody's not a part. Like, it's not just families fighting families. You're getting caught up in it. The only way to make money, basically, throughout the series, is to work for a family, because the families have all the economy, all the wealth, unless you like work for the workshop and stuff. And obviously, like you see a little bit of how the economy works. The richest people in the series, we already know is Fug. Like Fug is one of the richest like company, but the families are the richest. So more than likely, you're gonna wind up working for a family. There's nothing you can do about that. I can't find a chapter where they're all. I absolutely positively 100% and million% disagree with that. I don't think Bob. I think that was I really think that's a meme, to be honest. Not saying I agree, but I think Baum is the head of the Lobopia family. He said call him Lobopia Baum, and Trump said he was making him the heir. I absolutely positively yo, if Baum becomes the head of the Lobopia family, people will rage like shit. I think the fan base will rage like shit. I do not think that happens. I do not. People will not like that. I don't think the fan base would like that at all. I know he said that as like a temporary thing with like being a part of, but literally, I think it's literally a meme. Like I do not think people are going for that. I do not think people are going for that. I think people would hate that shit. I would kind of question see you if it's Big Bad getting beat by a side character Urek. I think if it's fun if we go all out against the boss as equals, then die by Finny. So I think it will be fun. We have to go all out against the boss. So you're saying that you think. So you're saying that. I don't think that happens. I don't think you like no. Yeah, no, that would never happen. I don't think Yurik won't fight Zahar. He just won't. He just won't do it. He won't defeat Zahar. He just won't do it. Um, yeah, he's gonna go out. It is kind of like yeah, he's gonna go all out against the boss to stop them from disrupting the tower. But yeah, it it's probably not gonna happen. To what end though, Loki? To what? My question to be to what end? If Fanta gave Zahara some of his powers, Zahara is even stronger. To what end though? I gotta know to what point. That also is not very. I think a lot of people would dislike that too, only because there's a bit of contrast in this story, and a lot of people believe for a long time that Bomb is the ultimate enemy in this story. Like Bomb is not the good guy in this story, and a lot of people will say that Bomb is not. You can make the argument that Bomb is the enemy in the story because Bomb is causing problems. All right. Then that's to say that it's not like the Zahar Empire is perfect. And again, you could look at any kingdom in the world that's ever been established, and like the king and the establishment is never perfect, but they create a system for people to live in. So it's not like people are living, starving, and dying in Zahar's empire. They're not. Zahar has created a quite a decent system for people to live in. Now, Bomb could be the enemy in the story, and Bomb has the makings of an enemy in the story because Bomb is filled with darkness. Bomb is supposedly the outside god, which we know to be darkness. Bomb looks like the enemy here. So it would be like to me, what would giving Zahar dark powers that would kind of corrupt it would corrupt Zahar in a way where I would say it's almost like it's like Fanta has influence over him, and I don't like the idea of him having Fanta having influence over Zahar. I need Zahar to be his own thing because it takes away from his character if he's like it's almost like putting him on the same level as Rahab and Cheongyam, where he gave Cheongyam and Rahab powers. I know, like I don't want him to be like these guys. It would hit different because it's Zahar, obviously, but I don't want them to be influenced by. I don't want Zahar to be influenced by Fanta. No, I think that takes away from his character and everything that he's done. Personally, Would Urek fight Zahard if he's using Fanta's powers? Probably not. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think he would. I think he would if he has. I think he would if he was. I think the contrast. CU has made it a thing in this side story that light and darkness are a massive contrast. Okay, they are a super contrast, as they are in most stories. There's angels and demons. There's light and darkness. He has made that contrast a huge thing. Within this contrast, Urek is going to come across darkness, and he has to fight against it. That's what's happening currently, and I think that whole thing will follow with Urek's character, where he's just going to battle against like darkness shit. Like now, this whole thing with the revolutionaries in the main story isn't his thing. That's not something that he necessarily like wanted to do. It's something that Bayek wanted. But in terms of like his own personal fight, the way I'm starting this, okay, so let me put it like this. The way I'm starting to see Urek's side story and Urek's story, I'm starting to see it like Doctor Strange. If you're familiar with the Marvel universe, it is because I love Zahar that I'm saying that. You're completely right. You're 100%. I would never deny that. Anyway, I'm starting to see Urek's side story like Doctor Strange's story in the Marvel universe, where Urek is kind of protecting a side of history that nobody in the normal story knows about. That's what I really think it is. So, in the normal story, and this also can be another thing with writing, where this story hasn't been developed yet. And that's why we're doing it now in the side story. It can 100% be that. So let me put that out there. It could 150 million% be that the concept of light and darkness affecting the tower in terms of what Urek's currently dealing with in the side story, that concept has not been developed in the main story during like season 2 or season 3 where we meet Urek. But it could also be that Urek is fighting or was fighting against something that nobody knows about, because it's not a widely known thing, and it's probably a better thing that it's not a widely known thing. That Phantominium was going around the tower corrupting rankers and giving them dark powers. That is probably a thing you don't want to get around. So I'm more inclined to believe that is like something that has been kept under wraps. And I would write it that way if I was CU as well. There is no reason to kind of implement that really into the story where it affects the storyline of Bomb, because I don't think it really does. We know that there's some darkness in Bomb, and you can relate that to Phantominium, but I'm talking about in terms of how it affects characters and certain parts of the like floors. This whole thing with the crystals and the gems and getting power from Phantominium, I don't think it should be a massive concept that's explored within the main story. I don't think it's needed. I think we have more than enough plots and shit going on in the main story with V and Zahard and Arlen and the regulars and everything else that's going on with the mystery of Bomb and shit. We have more than enough shit where it does not need to get more complicated. Adding Phantominium's possession and crystal giving shit, and Mago being born from a crystal, and the concept of light and darkness, it does not need to seep into the story and take over certain elements. I don't want that. I'm cool with how things are set up in the main story. I'm good with it. The families, the revolutionaries, I'm good with that shit. Leave it that way. Please don't implement this shit into the main story. I don't want it. If it affects the end game, where I'm talking about Zahard and Phantominium has some type of involvement in Zahard closing off the tower, or why Urek is stuck in the tower, if it has some end game effects, cool, I can live with that. Do not have a bunch of people, as we continue to climb the tower with Bomb, ran across the darkness of Phantominium and all. I don't need. I don't need that shit. I really don't need that shit. I hope this shit doesn't become like a regular thing in the main story, or something that we like see. Because no, I don't need it. I'm cool with the way things are. Wait, your hat isn't that bad. He forces his rule. Might right though. Might makes right. Those that don't agree are thrown to the red light district and forget about. Not sure if it's the same jihad. Not now that came in. Yeah, I agree with you, Tilly. Might makes right. I'm 100% with you. Zahar created a system that has created a real life for thousands of people for thousands of years. That's why he's worshipped and loved. Zahar is not a bad ruler. If Zahar was a corrupt bad ruler, people would hate him. People do not hate Zahar. You go back to season 1 and season 2. People don't hate Zahar. People respect Zahar. I like that Phantom entered the tower by accident, just like Urek. Did he though? That's the question, Sleepy. Why did Phantominium enter the tower? By accident? I don't think so. I'll just say this. If Urek ever dies off panel, I'm dropping Todd. Tower God side plots be getting crazy. It do. That's what I'm saying. We don't need to complicate it further with this light and darkness shit. It don't. Now, if Urek's side story, and this is what Zenu was talking about in the Discord, if Urek's side story is the story of Urek destroying all of Phantominium's influence within the tower, cool. I can live with that. So it took a significant amount of time to Phantominium to set up everything in the side story, right? Where Rahab is influenced by Phantominium, so is Xiong'ium. They are servants of darkness, as Urek just called them in the recent chapter. Then we know the ascetic people are dying and being killed off to fill the resurrection of Mago. And then we know like the angels and like the system, the whole system that was explained in the last like 5 or 10 chapters. So maybe Urek makes it his mission, and the side story will be about these. We'll call it crystal farms. Let's call them crystal farms. I think that's the proper term, or a proper term we should try to call this. A crystal farm. Urek goes around destroying crystal farms on different floors and coming across the old luminous ones who are corrupt by darkness. If that's Urek's side story, I don't hate that. Now, that will get old. I do think you have to mix other families and other things into it that will make it like fun and better. But that's kind of what Zenu was getting at in the Discord, that's kind of the side story. Like Urek will go and destroy these crystal farms, and maybe it ultimately disrupts Phantominium's plan, because Phantominium is doing this for a reason. We don't know why Phantominium is choosing to birth old luminous ones into dark beings in the tower. Why is he doing that? Why is Phantominium birthing old luminous ones into dark beings who will run the tower? Because what they say is Mago will become queen of the tower, which is she will stand behind Zahar. That's what it sounds like. Why? For what? What does that do? How does that help Phantominium? What? For what? Well, why is he doing that? And again, this is a crystal farm on the second floor, and you got to imagine that he set up other ones on other floors. So to what end are we setting up crystal farms? Got to ask ourselves this question. What's up, Momo? Here late. What's up, everybody? Phantominium definitely didn't enter the tower on accident. Not sure why, but it's certainly intentional. Maybe something to do with bomb. Agreed. It could be absolutely have something to do with bomb. But yeah, it's the question, right? Like, what for what? What are we setting up these crystal farms for? And Urek's side story will probably be mostly about Urek finding these farms, finding the old luminous ones who have been corrupted, fighting some of them. Mago is probably going to be born at some point, even like maybe at night, maybe not even a complete form, or maybe like a baby form that isn't fully developed. But Urek will probably fight some of these luminous ones, and Again, these story concepts may not be known throughout the tower. Maybe they are kept under wraps. Maybe like Zahar and them knew about it, and the Great Warriors knew about it, but there's something they didn't want to get out to the public, because it would be scary to hear about shit like that. Like, oh, there's a god from the outside coming into the tower, birthing old gods into darker beings to run the tower. That's some scary shit if you're a regular citizen, or like even like somebody of a regular family, that something like that is happening. And the Phantominium incident is a famous incident as well. So the name of Phantominium is the one who caused this shit. Yeah, no, that would be a problem. It would be a problem. So we also don't know what was said between him and Arihan. Arihan had to tell Urek something. There's no way he didn't after their fight. Yeah, no, and absolutely. The 100 floor test, right? Which I think he probably took with the princess. Let's be real. That princess is Bayek Ryun, bro. I don't care. It's the princess is Bayek Ryun. I'm convinced that it is Bayek Ryun. Listen, I put this theory out a few times already, but Bayek Ryun is probably somebody who we know Bayek Ryun can't leave where they are. They can't leave the forest they're stuck in. Bayek Ryun is in the forest that they're stuck in. They created that princess body, the princess in the current side story. She probably was made from Bayek Ryun creating Shinsu, since Bayek Ryun is the most talented Shinsu user to ever be born. She probably created that shell of that princess, and that's why everybody, when they see her, like a Lapis or Urek and everybody, when they see her, they say, oh, she's empty or she's being possessed. It's because it's probably a massively dense Shinsu shell that was created by Bayek Ryun, who's stuck on whatever floor she's stuck on. And that's her like outward appearance body, but her actual body is trapped somewhere. And Siu's trying to keep it under wraps that that's her, but it's not actually her. It's her being possessed by a body she created. I'm convinced that's what it is. There's nothing else that I could assume that it is. That's my theory, at least. So this princess is probably Bayek Ryun. Now she doesn't necessarily have to have a princess's last name. Like Bayek Ryun Zahar may be her name before she dropped it, and like she may have dropped it in the original story. That like the original Tower God, she may not be known as that now. Maybe she dropped it and left Zahar's army. Now I don't know if that's even possible. How you could do that? How could you leave Zahar and leave his? I don't know how you could do that. But I'm going to assume it's something like that. That's my assumption. So I don't know. But yeah. So all right, guys. This was a very, very fun stream. Actually, it ended up going longer than I anticipated. Especially since I did run a little bit earlier, but I deleted that little stream. But do we even know if Bayek's a woman? No, we don't. We don't know if Bayek's a woman. I'm throwing out theories out there, Stacey. No, we don't know at all. I'm just using some stuff that we know about Bayek being stuck in a forest, this woman's body being told that it has no emotions or it's empty. Bayek Ryun being the most talented Shinsu user ever. So maybe she or he, which I'm assuming it's a woman, created a body made from Shinsu and is using it as a princess. That's just my assumption. So I'm just using some theories out there. That's all. But yeah, I'm probably gonna get up off here in a sec, guys. Yeah, very good stream. Had a good time with you guys. I want to see regular people, their soldiers. They will have to fight these people. They don't know to go after a normal family person, just soldiers and power members. Yeah, Sleepy, but just know everybody's going to get caught up in the war, bro. Everybody's going to get the war. Even if the war is between families or the revolutionaries are targeting families, it just affects everything. It affects everything. So, yeah, we don't know if Bayek Ryun is human either. But yeah, I'm getting up off here, guys. I already put out my predictions for the next chapter. Again, I hope Urek beats the out of Lapis and Rehab, and we get some revelations about the crystal farms and how they were made, how Rahab and Lapis came across Phantominium. I would love those details. I hope that gets put in as Urek is beating their ass next chapter. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next review. I am getting back into Orv. I got to do my Orv review video for the last arc, the Industrial District arc, and then I'll be doing some reviews for that as well. So, all right, guys, peace. Have a good weekend.